I hear it so many times on a daily with employees. They're like, everybody dreams of opening up a coffee shop, Corey. Everybody.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's even
It,
I have a brother who's tried to open
yeah.
one up. I have on my wife's side. There's a
Yeah.
cousin who wanted.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's just like the thing. I don't know why. Maybe
It's
the sacrament.
romanticized. It really is. It's romanticized. It's like almost like Hollywoodized. It's like there's this like thing about it where you're just like, dude, it's like you're making delicious coffee and you're meeting awesome people. All of that is true. All of that is true. But there's always that but. It's so hard. Because I quickly realized, like, man, the hours and hours and years that I've spent on my knowledge, book, like everything, as me essentially knocking on doors, like, hey, help me with this roaster. You know, guys thinking I'm creeps or whatever, people thinking I'm weird, turned into a customer's like, it's okay. People loved our coffee. They thought we were like super high, like high quality. No one doubted us on that, but it was an everyday, and that was a problem. So we had to pivot very fast on like, how can we be an everyday coffee? Because if we're not an everyday coffee, we're not going to survive. So everything you've learned about like what you're trying to do, you're masterfully trying to curate this delicious cup of coffee for somebody that doesn't like it. And I can't judge them because coffee is one of those things. It's very subjective and there's no judgment, especially me just saying the big push in coffee was the people.
It's true.
There's no judgment. It's me saying like, hey, you're welcome in, but if you don't like my stuff, get the heck out of here. So the business side took over the passion side. And that became very draining and very worksome. It wasn't picture perfect that everybody's like coffee shop and doing this. And I'm like, no, dude, bills, utilities, like buying and sourcing and pricing. And dude, Corey, I passed out over 1,000 flyers. Probably within the first month we were there. If I'm being generous to myself and nice to myself, we maybe saw 5%. That's me being nice.
So you pass that 1,000, you get 50.
Hey, bro. Maybe.
Being generous.
Dude, this is our journey, and I got to mention this just because we've come a long way, and I love this moment, but it also was so humbling. Me and Will would run the shop essentially 7 days a week. Essentially, even on our day off, we were trying to do stuff, right? We would run the shop from 6 in the morning till about 7 at night every day. It was just us. We had no employees. Dude, there was like nobody coming in. We did flyers. I'm knocking on doors, businesses. Like I'm emailing people. I'm Instagram, dude. I'm on Instagram. Like I hate Instagram. Like I don't like social media, right? It's hard for me, but I'm on it. I'm doing it. I'm staying out. Like, you know, I'm trying to make all this work. Me and Will resorted to playing video games in the shop because there was nothing else. We were at a point where I'm like, dude, there's nothing else I could do. I feel like whatever I had in my mind, I already exhausted. Like the flyers, social media, Facebook, you know, like knocking on doors, emailing, going to neighbors, going to the outlets. Dude, I'm at the outlets like, boom, boom, boom. Hey, come to Kingdom. We're right across the street, you know? Nothing. And then we ended up pivoting and started adding stuff that people actually really like that we don't like as much or whatever overnight.
Wow.
Legit overnight. That's not even an exaggeration. Overnight. I posted, we had a vanilla latte we make in-house. Our sales the next day was like almost 3 times the amount. Granted, it wasn't all that, but 3 times the amount.
Wow. Just by going to the traditional coffee.
That's it.
Everyday, generic.
That's it.
That you can get anywhere, any gas station, any restaurant, and that is what people want.
Yeah. I think it's great that people want to open up a coffee shop. I also think anybody that wants to open up a coffee shop, I truly do believe, go work at one. Go work at one. Just see how things are. Just fill it out. Customers, drinks, fill it out. Learn something. They'll teach you. I teach everybody that comes in. I go through the whole training and all that stuff, right? Go learn it. See if you like it. I had a mom. I legit begged her not to do it, and I lost contact with her. She literally told me she was about to put up her house to open up a shop.
Wow.
I begged her. I'm like, please don't do that. Because she told me about the area it was going. I did some research for her. I was like, please don't do that. I'm like, you made me feel so uncomfortable telling you that I didn't want to tell her you should do it. Because I don't want to be responsible for her kids being out of a home.
The change in the menu really drove traffic to your storefront. And I think for anybody that's starting a coffee shop, you really got to do that audience analysis. I mean, Ty's had several years of experience roasting, perfecting the craft, making really high quality coffee. And that sounds like it's everything from just like the black coffee that has the flavor, that has the notes in there. But the average person might not have that palate. So all those years of experience, especially the first 3 months of having like a unique menu, really did nothing except hurt. So it's just like your greatest strength became your greatest weakness.
100%.
How did you survive COVID?
It's so trippy, even like now when I think about it. So we lost 6 employees overnight, which, understandable because none of us knew what this was, what was going to happen, all that stuff. We were under the umbrella of like restaurants and retail. We were still legally allowed to be open.
Yeah.
Dude, our regulars super came through. I'm talking about people are coming in and buying and this was like a lot. Our online sales crazy went up because people are just buying bags, just a bunch of bags. And I'm still roasting. Some days I was roasting every day or some weeks. And then customers came through buying like $500 multiple time gift cards and like $200 gift cards and just giving them out to people. They're like, go to Kingdom because they're like, we cannot afford to have you guys gone. Because we built that community. And it was that space for them where they could come and hang out and be themselves and just like a place of peace for them.
I think a key factor of anybody opening a coffee shop is really get to know the customer base. Very important because that leads to sales, referrals, online purchases, and really helps keep the company afloat should something happen. So knowing what they like and then actually knowing who they are. And then maybe later on you can cut back your hours, come in once in a while, but I think especially for a startup, the owner being there and being the face and being able to speak to the shop.
I agree.
Why they open and why they're there, I think it makes all the difference.
I agree.
And just being personable. So
no, I agree.
How would you go about doing things differently if you had to do the coffee shop again?
I love where we opened up. Don't get me wrong, right? But I would open up probably a different place with probably a little bit more traffic. Not a little bit more, but a lot more traffic. Just because, the idea of, don't get me wrong, like we do well, but it's the idea of like, if you're keeping one shop, you want as much exposure being in an area where there's a lot going on, right? So if you have, an area where it's like 22,000 cars are going through, right? And you pull 10% of that.
Right.
That's a lot of people. Not even 10, give me 5% of that. That's a lot of people and it's awesome and it's great. But location was for sure key, 100%. Not to say I don't hate my location, but that's probably something I would have done a little differently. The other thing is we live in a society where taking pictures and going places that look cool is for some reason everything. Corey, I kid you not, more times than I could count in the last like 7 years or 6.5 years. More times than I would care to count. We've had people to come in, order a latte or something, made sure there was pretty latte art, took a picture and left.
And left the coffee there?
Left the coffee there on the table. If you create a beautiful space and you're super vibey and you're constantly posting on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, whatever, and that you're doing it and you're constantly upgrading your merch and you create a space where it's just cool to be there. You are the cool kid. If you go to Kingdom, you'll be fine.
If the coffee bar is positioned in a way that the foot traffic will have like good standing location, be able to sit, not interfere with you or clutter around you in a way. So that's all things that I would have never thought of. Like how are
it matters.
Customers going to walk through? I mean, you don't want to put. I see some people put up the straps, kind of guide people a certain way, and then people don't follow it because they're like, "Why is this here? This is stupid." And
that's what I mean.
And then it just ends up being more of a hassle for the customers, and they just get more irritated because now they're being told what to do.
Yeah.
And more or less, that's a really good tip. Is like figure out the design if you're building something from scratch. If you have that canvas of where you can put the roaster somewhere, you can put the storefront somewhere, you could do all that. That's great.
Yeah.
I think one other thing in your shop is that you have like a mural back there.
Yep.
And I think some people like taking pictures with a mural.
Yep.
Whether you have the crown or the waves or something local to that city. I think it makes people want to take photos with that background because it's a cool background. So now you're talking about people that want to take photos with their coffee and people who want to take photos with the backgrounds, the murals that you have in the shop. It's like a thing to do. When you come to Folsom is go to this coffee shop and take a picture of this mural, whether it's butterfly wings, crowns, whatever the thing is. It's something that engage with the clientele as they're walking through. Like, oh, I want to take that photo. And then obviously everybody's going to post that somewhere.